Hello, so today I'm making hot process soap. Now I'm going to get my lye water mixed up here so that it can be cooling down just a bit before I put it in my crock pot with my oils. And then I'm going to do a little explanation of why you would want to do hot process soap and what is the purpose of hot process soap. So I am just using regular tap water for this recipe because I'm not concerned about minerals. We live in Colorado, our water's pretty good. I've been using distilled water, but I'm kind of wondering if I really need to do that. I don't know that I do need to do that. So always, always, always pour your lye into your water so that it doesn't splatter out, and get you a stir as you are pouring your lye and keep your face back. Get it all stirred until it's dissolved. It's going to be about 200 degrees, so be very careful and do not do this when your children are around. Please make sure it's during nap time or while they're at school, just so they don't accidentally pull it off the counter. Rinse out your container. Just to make sure that the family members don't get in it accidentally. Okay, so this is all done. Those fumes can still get you if you're standing back. Okay, let me wipe out my bowl. I got something fell into my bowl there. Okay, so now my oils. I am doing my regular recipe that I normally use, except I'm using palm kernel flakes this time, but the process is not any different. So I've got 4 ounces of my palm kernel flakes. And then I am also doing 5-pound batch. This is my unscented soap for sensitive skin. Everyone loves this soap. Huge seller. And then my 14 ounces, of lard. I have my crock pot warming up, and the next part you don't have to do in your microwave. You can just put all your oils in your crock pot if you want, but I like to do the microwave because it just gives me a little boost and saves me a little bit of time so that I can get on with other things in life and get going. So this is my castor oil, and then my olive oil. Okay, oops, just a little short there. Okay, and then last but not least, my coconut oil is here, and you will know it is fairly fluid. That is because I've had it sitting on my heater vent. It is winter when I'm filming this, and just makes it easier to have it already pre-melted. You can also put it in a window or out on a patio in the summer and let the heat get it, started melting so that it's easy for you. Okay, so now I'm going to microwave this for just a couple of minutes to get my palm kernel flakes melted, and I'll be right back. Okay, you can see it's started melting. Not really there yet, and I'm only at 100 degrees, so I'm gonna warm this up just a little bit more. Okay, so while I was waiting for my oils to get heated up, I did get an ice bath to put my lye water in. It just goes a lot quicker. It's at 194 right now. So that helps get things moving along a little bit quicker. I'm at 115 right now with my oils. And I think I'm going to warm them up just a little bit more. I want them about 150. Okay. So they're at 146 and my water is at 181. Let's warm this up just a bit more. So far it has been 3.5 minutes that I have needed to warm my oils. I wanted to show you something. See my $2, can you see my $2 crock pot lid there? So what happened was my crock pot lid broke one time while I was making it live, and so I went to the thrift store because for me, going to my thrift store and finding just a crock pot lid was a lot cheaper than trying to get a knob and all that. So if your lid breaks, you can either get like a knob or you can go to the thrift store and get yourself another crock pot lid. All right, that feels like it's pretty warm now. And yes, this is 156. So I'm putting it in my crock pot. Now, I start my crock pot on high to get everything moving along quickly. Then as soon as I pour in, well actually as soon as my oils come to, as soon as I get my stuff boiling, then I turn it down to low. So let's give my lye water just a little bit more to cool down and we will be right back. So while I'm waiting for my lye water, I did forget to measure out my avocado oil, which I do use as a Superfat in the Hot Process soap. So let me get that measured out. And there. So then I'm going to add this at the end as my Superfat and moisturizing for my oils, or for my soap. Okay, so I am back. My lye water has cooled down to 157. My oils are at 160. So I'm going to pour my lye water in slowly, just like so. Immediately rinse out my lye water solution bucket. That way the family doesn't accidentally use it. And then we are going to blend. Burp. See that little flop there? Burp your stick blender. The air gets caught in there and it can produce too much air. This is emulsification, where it turns to a light color first, and now we're going to bring it to trace. See how when you lift up your blender, it leaves a line that is trace. Okay, so now we are going to let this cook. And I'm going to bring it to a boil and then I'm going to turn it down to low. Okay, so why do you want to do hot process soap? Well, this is the way Grandma used to make it. So if you see the pictures of Grandma stirring over a kettle in a hot stove or a hot kettle outside during, usually they did this in the fall when the butchering time was happening, but when it wasn't so hot. But that is how Grandma made soap, was the hot process method. She usually just used either lard or tallow, which is pig fat or beef fat, that she had to cook down all day long to get the beef separated from the fat particles separated from each other. And then she would have to stand over the next day, the hot kettle again outside, great big stirring thing, for 3 to 4 hours at least, cooking her soap. Now, hot process soap is wonderful because you can use it immediately. It is best if you let it dry out for 2 weeks or so to get a harder bar, but you can use it right away, and that's the beauty of this soap. If you really need to use it, you can, because the sponification process has already happened through the cooking and the boiling of the soap, and that is what turns it into soap. So that's why you use hot process. Hot process does not have as pretty swirls usually. There are ways to make it called fluid hot process, and I will show you some of those ways in my videos on my How to Make Soap YouTube channel. But it is a little bit more complicated process, and I would not suggest it for a beginner. I would make several batches of regular hot process soap first to kind of get the knack down, and then you can start doing the more complicated fluid hot process to color it and that type of thing. Now, you can add goat's milk and that type of thing, but I would add it after it has been cooked at the end. That is probably the best way to go about doing it so you don't burn your milk. So if you use goat milk, cream, coconut milk, whatever, wait until it's done and cooled down to about 170 degrees and then add those ingredients. Now, like I said before, I would not suggest this for a beginner, and I will show you how to do that in some of my other videos. But for now, we're just making regular hot process soap that's unscented. I sell out of this one all the time. My eczema and psoriasis people love it. And people with skin sensitivities, this is mom's favorite soap. So we're gonna let this cook, and I'm gonna come back and show you all the steps of the hot process. Okay, you can see how it's starting to boil up again. It's been 2 minutes later, stirring it down again. And we almost have soap. I'm going to let this cook for just another 5 minutes or so. Going ahead and turning off the heat, but keeping the lid on. That will keep the heat in. And in just a minute, we'll have soap. So now you can see it's really starting to turn translucent. Looks like Vaseline or applesauce. I'm going to keep stirring it down. Now, one way you can tell when the soap is totally done is when you stir it down, it doesn't bubble back up. It just kind of stays down there. That's because it has already turned to soap, and you don't need to worry about it bubbling over. But since it's still bubbling over, it's not quite there yet, but we're getting close. Okay, it's still translucent, but it is not bubbling up as much. So I'm stirring it down again. Now each of these times I've stirred it, it's been about 2 minutes in between, 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm almost there. Okay, I'm gonna give it just a couple more minutes. All right, so I think we are finally there. That looks really, really good. It's all pretty much translucent. Give it a good stir. Now, of course, again, please be very, very careful. And don't splash yourself. This is boiling and it is hot. Now, see how it's all translucent and looks like applesauce. That is perfect, exactly what you want. Now, this here is my Brambleberry mold liner, and then a friend made me the box to put it in. I use this because I make 5 pounds of soap at a time. And so, if I'm not testing a batch. So, since I'm not doing any colors or fragrances or anything, I'm just going to pour this straight in there. Now, I'm pouring in my Superfat, which I like is avocado oil. And I'm going to get that stirred in. And get it going. Now this oil will stay and not be absorbed by the lye because it is already turned into soap. So this will just add moisturizing qualities to my soap. Okay. Now, since that is fairly heavy and I don't want to drop it, I'm going to, I mean it's 5 pounds of soap, but then the crock pot and everything. I'm going to pour it in just with a scooper. Just like so. I love the fact that you can use hot process soap right away. I am not a patient person. I like to have things done and be able to use them right away. So I really, really like that about hot process soap. So tap your mold down to get out air pockets. Once again, be careful, do not splash it on you. Okay, so now let me scrape up my little messes here. Now we're just going to let this sit for several hours or overnight to get nice and firm, and then we're going to come back and cut it. If it's cold outside, you could set it outside on your picnic table or whatever if it's winter and let it get hard quicker, or put it in your freezer. You can see the white spots there, it's already starting to set up. And then we will come back and cut it. Hello, so I am back. We got some snow and this was sitting outside, and while I was taking the boys to the dentist and the urgent care because we thought Jack had smashed his thumb, I had Mike bring it in. So here's a little bit of a problem. My avocado oil did not get absorbed like I thought it would. So my bar is a little oily. So this will probably be one for Mom. Unless somebody just wants a really extra moisturizing bar of soap. But look at that, yeah. Super nice. Oh man, it's super smooth. I love that oil, but too bad. Makes my heart sad. Yep, it's just oozing oil. So this was a mistake, and I'm trying to decide if I should re-cook it. And I think I might recook it actually. Yeah, it's really oozing. Let's see, if I recooked it, would it all turn into soap? I think it might. So I think I'm gonna do that. Let me get it cut up, and I will probably put it in the crock pot. Nice bar of soap, but well, that was weird. It got caught on, must have been a hard piece. Okay, well, if you want to come back, I will do a rebatching because I hate to have all this good soap go to waste. If not, Mom will have some very moisturizing avocado oil soap. So there you go. I'm gonna grate this up, cut it up into small things, throw it back in the crock pot. Maybe see if we can get it to work a little bit better. All right, I will be back. That is the mistake on the oil not getting absorbed, but wow, my hands are very nice and moisturized. Please give me a thumbs up, a like, share, comment below if you've had this happen. And tell me if you like hot process soap. My hot process soap usually turns out, this is actually the first, I think, real big failure I've had for hot process. Usually it turns out really good. But hey, my hands are nice and moisturized. I'll see you guys next time.